That being said, we have an extraordinary gentleman here with us today. Great hat, like the hat. We have a three-way primary for U.S. Senate here in New Hampshire. We have a guy from Massachusetts running. We have a fellow from Hanover running. And then we have a candidate and a conservative and a gentleman who told me across the table at the Barley House, he says, Susan, I really don't care what you think, because these are the things that I believe, and I'm not going to change them. So please welcome the next Senator, Bob Smith.
If I can move this up a little bit.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Everybody hear me okay? Gosh, following Jane. Oh my goodness. I'm pissed too, Jane, about this. I really am. I don't want to see us lose our country. Really. You know, one of the things that I've learned in politics, if you just, and Jane is a great example of it, if you just go out and be yourself, be comfortable in your own skin, forget about all the advisors and consultants and pollsters, and just go out and be yourself and let people make a decision. They either say, I agree with the guy or I don't, or the gal. And that's fine. And that's who I am. And that's who I've always been. My wife always says that if everybody met me, they'd probably vote for me. Well, look at it this way. I'll go with Yogi Berra. If I meet you, the first time is the first impression. You only get one chance to do it. So if I meet you and I don't get your vote, I don't deserve it. That's the way I look at it. But it's not just a matter of seeking your vote. It's about leadership. It's about persuading people that what you want to do is the right thing to do, because that's what a republic is. How many times have you heard some idiot refer to this country as a democracy? It's not a democracy. Hello, President Obama. It's not. Sorry. It is a republic. We elect people to lead us. And if we don't like the way they lead us, we get rid of them. It's that simple. I'm only back for one reason, because I care about this country. I know darn well there are a lot of wonderful people who are running across the country for various offices. I certainly don't think I'm the only one that can do the job. But look, our country is worse now than it's ever been. Hearing the reports, we could go on, and you all know what the issues are, and I'll be very brief on the issue part. But what's happening now with this illegal immigration and these kids on the border and all this stuff, do you realize what's happening to our country? They're just breaking down. Obama is literally breaking down the boundary lines to our country. We have a right to have a border on our country. And let me ask you a question. If you put your child on a plane to go see Grandmom in Disney World for a week, I'll bet you know that Grandmom's going to be at the other end waiting for you. Waiting for that child, don't you? Well, why do you think these kids are coming? You think they're coming here because nobody's going to meet them at the border? They know somebody's going to meet them here at the border. They got phone numbers, they got addresses, they're being pushed across the land with no identification. You try to get on an airplane without an ID. You try to go into some place and buy something with a credit card without an ID. This is what's happening to our country. This is just one example. Folks, the thing we have to do as candidates, I don't care if we're running at the local level or the federal level, you must link your opponent, your Democrat opponent, maybe your Republican opponent too sometimes, with Obama. People have to understand that what this president is doing to this country, they're helping him do. Let's stick to the Senate, which is my race. Jeanne Shaheen is helping President Obama 99% of the time. The other time, I think she's, powdering her nose or something. I mean, the other 1%. I don't know where she was during that. But look, we have to change it. We have to change this country, and the only way to do it is to, as President Reagan said so well, no pale pastels in these races. Bold colors, bright line distinction. Who are they? Who are we? Go to the left. Senator Shaheen, you're a nice person. But let me tell you something. If you want you that are voters, if you want less liberty, less freedom, more taxes, more spending, more regulation, more loss of freedom, more spying, more harassing people because of their political beliefs, less opportunity to pick your doctor, if that's what you want, there she is. Vote for her. Forget me. Vote for her. But if you don't want that, and you want to save your country, and you want more freedom, and you want less taxes and less regulation so that people can live the American dream, so that your grandchildren can live the American dream, then you should vote for me. Because that's what it boils down to. There's nothing more complicated than that. Nothing. That is it. We must let the people understand what's going on. You know, all we have to do is vote to change this country. That's all we have to do. The founders, look what they put up. Lives, fortune, sacred honor. Some of them lost it all just to build this country, to start it. And then how about those who climbed the cliffs in Normandy and fought battle after battle down through the years to save it and to preserve it and to protect it and defend it? And how about our grandchildren? That's what we're doing this for. Someday, they're going to write a chapter in history during this period of time. And we're all going to be in it. And you have to ask yourself, what do you want it to be said about those of us that lived here in this period of time in the early 2000s? 2010, 20, whatever they write, whatever that period of time is from the period, let's just say 2000 to 2050, they're going to say one of two things. That was the crowd that lost America. That was a crowd that sat around on their hands, refused to vote, kept electing these idiots that took our country away. Or they're going to say, like the Patriots in 1776, that's the group of people who stood up and said, enough is enough, I'm sick of it, and I'm not going to put up with it anymore. And that's where I am. And that's where you are. It's very difficult for someone who's been in and out of politics as long as I have not to be passionate. And I don't mean to be melodramatic about it, but we have to be passionate about it. We have to be. This is all the marbles. This is it. I mean, we could wind up with another 8 years of Hillary Clinton on top of Obama, with another Democrat Senate and perhaps a Democrat House. The thought of that is just mind-boggling, really. It's the end of the line. You got to have the optimism of Reagan. I mean, I keep talking about Reagan, but he was so optimistic. Just to end with one story. In 1982, when I was running for the House, Reagan had just gotten elected, survived the assassination, and he was trying to get, everybody was picking on him for Reaganomics. He had cut taxes, cut regulation. He was trying to spur the growth of the economy. And I remember we all had these perfunctory pictures. We stand in line, and we stood in. We all had about 30 seconds to say hello to the president, prospective candidates. And so I had my 30, and I sat down, and I had just read in the papers that morning before I left for Washington that there was a slight downturn in the unemployment rate, or in other words, to put it another way, a slight uptick in the economy in New Hampshire. And I said, Mr. President, there was good news out of New Hampshire this morning. The unemployment went down a little bit, and the economy ticked up a little bit. And I still have the picture. He reached across like that, and he's put his hand like that on my arm, and he really pushed it hard. He said, don't worry about it. We're right. This will work. Have faith. Stand on principle. That's what we got to do. You stand on principle, and we will win. And some of the people that oppose, those of us who want to make change and don't want to play the game, those are the ones that oppose Reagan. And he turned out to be one of the greatest presidents in American history. So that's what it's about. So don't be afraid to invoke Reagan. Remember what happened when we had Reagan? We won elections. We got conservative Democrats to vote for us. We won election after election after election with this guy. Why? Because we stood for something. We were platform Republicans. Ronald Reagan could make a joke out of the worst issues. One of the best was somebody was grilling away on him one time on abortion, which is a tough issue. We all have to face it. So he says, in his indomitable style, well, I've noticed something. All of those who are for abortion are already born. You can't really say it any better than that. And the ultimate freedom is the right to be born. But look, that's the way we need to approach this. It's serious business. Don't take yourself seriously. Take the issue seriously. I need your help, folks. We're going to have a big rally with a group called the Confederate Railroads, a country music group. I happen to know one of the folks in the band. I've known them for 25 years, and they've agreed to come, and we're going to do a big freedom rally because all that money flying around here from 30,000 feet from some of the other folks in this race, Shaheen and Brown to be specific, we can't compete with that. So we're going to have a good grassroots event. You want to have fun and see what politics really should be? Then we'd love to see you on August 29th in Rochester. We've rented the whole fairgrounds. So that tells you we mean business. And we're going to have a big crowd. We're going to have fireworks. We're going to have good country music. If you don't like country music, I feel sorry for you. Have a good day. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. As a young woman, I had the privilege of spending 3 years in Washington in First Reagan as a sort of lowly specialist working on coal issues. And being part of that, I don't think I really realized at the time how important those years were, not only to the country, but to me, because I was working, not directly for President Reagan, but a couple of ticks down the line. And I knew then that this is someone who, if he told me to go stand down there at the bottom of the driveway, barefoot, in a nightgown, and wait, I would. I wouldn't ask any questions. When you've got faith in someone, when you believe in someone, and when you believe that the things they tell you are right and true and safe and productive, makes a difference. I've never forgotten those years. I left Washington as soon as I could, and never really went back for any length of time except to beat on congressmen and senators. But those were good days, and Senator Smith characterized it very well.
Croc TV.